Hi everybody, what's up? My name is Juan, I'm just one reader, and I am here with a really exciting video. This is my top 5 of what I have read so far in 2017. And yes, I know that this is the type of video that should have been expected in like June, July. We're in August. I'm still there, so this is still valid. And if I compare 2017 to 2016, it's kind of weird because in 2016 I read a lot of books. I read like 95 books, which is an insane amount for me. But I didn't read as many fantastic books. Whereas in 2017, it's kind of been the other way around. I have read, I don't know, maybe 30 books. But I do have quite a great number of really amazing reads. So I'm really excited to share these with you. Now, I have a top 5 and I was able to rank them in what I feel is the right order for me, and it's a ranking that I feel comfortable with and happy with. But I do have some honorable mentions before that. So I have 4 honorable mentions, and you will say, well, 4 honorable mentions is just way too many. However, one of the honorable mentions is a collection, or rather an anthology of short stories, which is the Best American Short Stories of 2014, edited by Jennifer Egan. I just really struggled with putting this in the top 5 because, being an anthology, a collection of short stories, it's kind of weird because how can you rate a book as this? Regardless of that, this book is totally worth your time. It is an amazing collection. It's an incredible anthology. I loved most of the stories in this collection, which is rare because, what happens when you read a collection, especially a collection that has so many short stories, this one has like 20 short stories, there's bound to be at least a handful of them that you don't really love. And with this, I think there were maybe 2 or 3 that I didn't love, but the rest of them were amazing. And yeah, this one introduced me to some voices in American writing, in short story writing, that I need to keep reading more of those voices. So yeah, this one I gave 4.5 out of 5, but like I said, it's really hard to rank a book like this. Now, the other 3 honorable mentions that I have, I sort of classify them as one because they are very similar in genre, in length. They are novels, but they are kind of short novels. They're almost novellas. Not really. They are novels, but they kind of feel like very short, very, straight to the point. There's no meandering around. Beautiful characterization. The tone and the atmosphere of these 3 is, very gothic and kind of dreadful and infused with magical realism-y kind of doom. And the writing in all 3 of them is really superb, and I am really glad that I read all 3 of them. So they are The Blue Girl by Lori Foos, which I gave 4 stars to. Fever Dream by Samantha Schweblin. This one is translated from the Spanish. She is an Argentinian writer, and the original one is called Distancia de Rescate, which would be the rescue distance, and I gave this one 4 stars as well. And the other one is Irlanda by Espiro Freire. She is a Spanish writer, and just look at the cover. I love that cover. And I also gave this one 4 stars. All these are very similar in all the things that I just mentioned, so if you enjoy one of them, chances are you're gonna like the other 2. Oh, and by the way, I should also say that if you enjoy books like We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson, try one of these or all 3 of them because, yeah, this is gonna be for you. Okay, so now getting on to the actual top 5 books that I have read so far in 2017. These books are all amazing, not just great, amazing, for very different reasons. I will not go into all those reasons in here because I have mentioned them in either separate wrap-ups or individual reviews or whatever. I really struggled making this top five, but at the same time, it was really easy because I always knew the book that I wanted to place in, in fifth place, and the one that I wanted to put in first place. But the other three in the middle, I just sort of struggled with. But I think I'm really comfortable with the way that this ranking is now. If you ask me in a couple of months, this probably will change, and that's kind of expected. But okay, enough rambling. Number 5 is The Bone Clocks by David Mitchell, and this is a book that I gave 4 stars to. The thing with this book that made me not rank it higher is that it is almost like a collection of novellas, and there are some sections or novellas that I didn't particularly enjoy. However, the ones that I did enjoy were absolutely out of this universe. I was head over heels in love with them, with the characters, with the writing, with the tone, with the themes. And then, of course, what David Mitchell does is he sort of ties all of the novellas together in the end. And the overarching, or the final product, the final result is remarkable and outstanding, and I loved it. So if, like I said in my review of this, if I think of this book as one book, I love it. If I start thinking about each plot line separately, I have some problems. But yeah, this is definitely a book that is worth your time. Then coming in at number 4 is a book that I just reviewed like yesterday or the day before, and that is Idaho by Emily Ruskovich. This was her debut novel, and I thought it was just remarkable. You can go and check out my separate review because I just rave and rave and rave about it. Basically, I think this book deserves the 4 stars that I gave it because of the writing, the atmosphere, the characterization, and most importantly, the themes, and how she was able to put those themes and embed them in the writing and in everything else. So this is one of those books that I don't see it as a book. I see it as an experience, a complete experience. I don't know if you know what I mean. Maybe I'm just high on something. Now, coming in at number 3, this book, I really struggled with books 3 and 2 because, okay, so I'll just say it. Book number 3 today is The Unseen World by Liz Moore, and this could change tomorrow. I could change my mind. The Unseen World is a book that was, if I could just say one adjective to describe my experience, it would be enjoyable. This was a fascinating book because of the characters and the mysterious plot line. We follow a certain character, and we try to uncover, along with the protagonist, we try to uncover this character's life, and it's full of secrets. But really, at the core of this novel is a family drama and a very emotional aspect to this book that I just loved. So the weird thing that is really, sort of destroying my brain right now is when I finished reading this book, I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. However, it's been a couple of months now since I finished it, and yes, I still love it, and I still think this is a book that I would recommend to literally everybody I know, regardless of whether they like to read or not. So it's kind of one of those really special, almost flawless books. However, if I think of the next 2 books that are coming up in this top 5, I just have to admit that this book just has something, or rather that those 2 books that are coming up are just more special and better written and more important. But yeah, this is just 5 stars still, but it's more based on my enjoyment than the spectacular factor. I don't know if I'm making sense. Maybe I am high on something. I swear I'm not. Am I? Now, coming in at number 2, and you will know what I meant when I was talking about The Unseen World, because coming in at number 2 is such a perfect novel, in my opinion, that, I mean, how could I rank it below The Unseen World? Even if I enjoyed The Unseen World maybe a little bit more. But this is Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. I just think of this book and I think perfection. An absolute masterpiece. It's a book that I want to reread on a regular basis. It is important. It is beautiful. It is concise. It is glorious. And I gave it 4.5 out of 5, but it's time to elevate it to 5-star heaven. Ah! And coming in at number 1, my favorite book that I have read so far this year is a book that combined both qualities that I emphasized with The Unseen World and with Giovanni's Room. The excellence of the writing and the enjoyment, just everything came together with this book. This is Junot Diaz's The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde. You will not be surprised to hear me say that this is my favorite book of the year so far, because when I reviewed this book, I said that this is a book that I would like to marry. So when marrying a book marriage is legal, this is the book that I'm taking to the altar. Well, not to the altar because, religious things. But yeah, this is the one I'm taking with me. This is a book that, like I said, combined everything for me. It's an important book. It's socially, culturally, politically important. It kind of has a historical thread, which is something that I don't usually enjoy, but the way that it was handled, the way that it was planted in this book was just amazing. It was funny, it was dark, it had references to my own life, and it's just a perfect book. I mean, I'm not gonna talk a lot about it. I mean, this one won the Pulitzer Prize and many more accolades. So if you want to hear more thoughts on this wonderful piece of fiction, please go and check out my review or any other review. And that's it. Those are the top 5 books and my honorable mentions for 2017 so far. I have planned a shit ton of amazing books for the rest of 2017. I have planned a lot of books that I am pretty positive that will be part of my favorite books of the year at the end of the year. So I'm really looking forward to hearing your comments in the comment section down below. You can tell me what you think of these books, if you agree, if you disagree, and why. And also, what are your favorite books of the year so far? Thanks for watching. I am just one reader.